Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of the Barstow Jane Doe who was discovered on February 10th, 2010. A man looking for cans along Lenwood Road, which is south of Barstow, found a black backpack and upon opening it found basically two plastic bags wrapped around a severed head. The one bag was from Walgreens and the second from Fiesta Foods. No fingerprints were obtained from the backpack or the bags. And since all they found was her head, they were not able to determine the exact cause of death, and they weren't even able to conclusively prove that she had been murdered. However, in addition to her decapitation and disposal, there is extremely strong evidence of foul play in her death. Evidently, her face was in quote-unquote very poor condition as a result of being intentionally mutilated by the person who dismembered her body. The nature of these injuries is not known, but apparently they were so extensive that members of law enforcement have said that the facial reconstruction may be unreliable due to the fact that her face was destroyed, also in quotes. And authorities believe that she may have fallen victim to a serial killer. Her dental records were taken. They showed that she had many fillings and received good dental health care. In September 2021, it was announced that the San Bernardino County Coroner's Office had been working with Barbara Ray Venter in order to identify the decedent. DNA testing has confirmed that she has Hispanic ancestry and has distant relatives in Mexico. She is believed to have been between 14 and 19 years old. She had straight dark brown hair, medium length with reddish highlights, brown eyes, pierced ears with no earrings present, and extensive dental care including many fillings like I said before. Now they list the black backpack and the two plastic bags as their belongings, but I'm not sure if those are actually hers or of the person who did this to her. And the only other information is that 39 women have been ruled out as being this particular Jane Doe. So there are some images like reconstructing her, what they hope was her face, her appearance, but as they said, it's not quite possible to give an accurate result due to the damage. There are no suspects. It does say here that they suspect that she may have fallen victim to a serial killer, but it doesn't say which serial killer they suspect. Maybe that is stated somewhere else, but I'm just looking at this one page, which is on the Unidentified Awareness Fandom wiki. So we don't have a lot of information to go on, and that is why I was asked to do a reading on this case. And we're going to start off with the vice versa deck, which is already on the table. And for any further questions, moving on to the Hush Tarot, which is this one. So as per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's take a look what we've got. We're starting off with the Seven of Swords, looking at the backside, and reversed, where we are planning something, I think something in mind. We've got something in the skull over here, and it is kept a secret. We're sneaking around with our thoughts, basically, and also being very careful with our resources here with the Four of Pentacles. I think, particularly because you have the Two of Wands right here, next to that, this is to Jane Doe actually perhaps planning her escape, like she was maybe in an area or in a place or position where she was not happy with her life, with her existence, and she wanted out. And so she may have spent some time thinking about what she could do, what her options were, what she had in ways of resources, maybe gathering resources, making plans, making routes, looking at destinations. Like that is what these three cards point towards. And I think the people who she was with at the time did not know that this was going on until it was already too late and she had already left. Then we see a Six of Pentacles over here. That is I think some type of windfall that they got, like while they were planning for these things, slowly saving up, they got a break somehow. They got a bunch of money, or they maybe have had access to a ride or something along those lines. And then we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. And this Seven of Cups always strikes me as somebody who's kind of blinded by one or more options, and in this case one option because it's in reverse. I see that as one choice, one dream, one sole focus, and you can see that their eyes are white, so they're just blinded by the lights. They can't see anything other than what it is that they want, or one of the things that they wanted, without actually thinking about any other options. She just wants to be free. As you can see the bird over there in the sky, and she could have chosen any other way, as you can see with this Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is normally like you're in some type of trap that is of your own choosing. You could walk out of that mental entrapment. You could walk out of this thought pattern if you wanted to, but for some reason you're like interested in keeping that around. So I see this as, okay, this is my break, I gotta go, this is the only option that I have, this is my time to shine and my time to go out into the big wide world. You can see in the background there with the Eight of Swords, the big, like, great beyond, so to speak, the world that she hadn't been able to explore yet. Then we have here a Two of Pentacles on its side, so we're trying to balance things, but also we're not very good at it because we just don't have the experience with balancing our resources. You may be spending money on things that we think is a good investment, but it's actually not. We just don't know that. Like, you may end up buying a car, for instance, with the money that you got. You're like, yay, it's a cheap car, it's great, it's going to get me a whole long distance, and then it turns out that it was actually a clunker and it's about to fall apart. But the person who sold you that, of course, didn't tell you that, and you thought you were doing a good thing by buying this car so you could move faster. But in any case, something like that is happening over here. She's spending her money in a way that she thinks is good, and I guess sometimes it's good, like it's a bit of a balancing act. Sometimes it's a good investment, sometimes it's not so much. So there's like a couple of mistakes made here with her resources, which could be money, could also be the things that she brought with her, if she brought anything at all. Now we have a Five of Wands in reverse. So we might also, with this Hanged Man, which we're looking at the backside of, we might be looking at a different perspective, trying not to fight people on certain things because it is in reverse. Normally you would see like a bit of a struggle here, but this is more of a sparring card, like challenging people in a fun and friendly manner, or somewhat amicable in any case, like not a full-on fight, but more like testing each other's mettle, like that type of thing. Like if somebody suggests something, let's go do this, and you're like, I don't know if that's such a good idea, what if this and that happens, let's go there, like a back and forth type of thing. But it's in reverse, and with the backwards Hanged Man, she may be thinking, I have to be open-minded, I have to take a different perspective, I shouldn't like judge a book by its cover, like that type of going along with this other person and not challenging them in any case. And I guess this person over here is being represented by the King of Wands, who did land upright. So they may have had some good intentions, or at the very least they were very much representing this individual. This person has a willful character, is also fairly steady. I'm thinking, like, the first thing that came into my mind is trucker. Like maybe she broke down with her car over here, and then she needs the help of somebody. A truck pulls over and she's like, I don't know, I've heard some bad stories about truckers. And then she's like, never mind, I need to get out of here. Practicality is a bit more important than judging people because of what you've heard about certain types of people beforehand. So she went ahead with it anyway, and this person was very actionable and also very steady. So this may not be the person who ended up doing the things to her that happened. This may be just somebody who took her along to a new road. And then we also have here the Ace of Swords, again with that open view, which we also had here with the Eight of Swords. So we are basically just going wherever, and they may be having a little discussion about where she should go and what would be the best option. They can't really agree, but they do agree that it's going to be something other than what she had initially thought. And I think that this king eventually wins out with the destination, because I see the crown up here as well. So whatever direction he chose, that's where they headed next. Like I said, it doesn't have to mean that this person is a person who ended up hurting her, but let's take a look what the Hush Tarot has to say about what happens after that. The Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, so we're having an argument, or at least there is some disharmony here between her and this person. So maybe now we are pulling over because we're not happy with each other, or it's a very icy atmosphere in the truck's cabin because we cannot get along. Of course, I am now saying that it's a trucker, but it could be anybody. It could be just somebody, I don't know, in any random car or whatever it may have been. Let's take a look. In any case, it's getting icy between them. And then we have the Page of Wands. Okay, the Page of Wands is a very youthful energy. So I'm thinking that this is more of, you know what, never mind, pull over here, I'll do it myself. Like, I'm going to walk the rest of the way. I don't really want this, I don't need this, and I'm just going to do my own thing. So I think this is where they parted ways, and she at the very least showed a stubborn side that she wanted to do things her way. And I am noticing that there is a skull over there inside of this construction. So maybe this is also where she made a fatal mistake that led to the disaster that happens after. So maybe her thinking that she made a good mistake, focusing on the potential gold here with the golden calf, which is also one of those false idol things, made her mistake so that she would eventually have a lot of trouble. Three of Cups working together. So maybe she's like, oh, just put me over there and there. And then the driver's like, okay, fine, we have a resolution, let's do that. So we are now working together to make whatever it is that you wanted to happen. So I'm guessing they're going to go to a certain location or a town that she may have heard of in that particular vicinity. And she's like, okay, I've heard of that town. You know what? Just drop me off there. It's not too far from here. And he's like, okay, fine. We'll see how you do there. This one landed first, so I'm going to take a look at you. Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, so now we might be speaking some bad words here that are quite hurried as well, not well thought through. And that definitely do not land well either with this other person. So perhaps the cooperation ends here. And she's now seeing the results of, I guess, her stubbornness and her words now with this Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which is normally like seeing things ripening on the vine. She may be having a moment to reflect here, like, oh wow, I chose this way, I know why I chose these directions, but actually I can see what trouble I could potentially be heading into with this. So maybe she is now also cautioning herself, like, okay, this might be an issue, so try not to do anything crazy, try to avoid trouble. Like that type of moments of consideration. Also possibly looking in her wallet to see how much she has left and what her options are with that. This one landed first. And we have the King of Wands. Okay, so now we're being very willful. Maybe even though she may be faced with some trouble, she still feels like she could pull this off, and that's why she's now very assertive, very fiery, and she is willful. She is doing all the things that she wants to do. We got the Ace of Swords here. Okay, so the Ace of Swords was already here, but we now have an idea. It's solid. We're going to go for it, and this is now our main goal. So there's all sorts of like birds and things on here, so there's a lot of activity. We are really moving, and also this idea is very enthusiastically embraced. However, we have here the Two of Pentacles, which in this case is two birds sitting on an explosive with the pin removed. It may be slightly inside the hole still. It's kind of like pointing that direction, but I think it is just loose. So at this point, it's ticking a time bomb, basically. So they may have set some things in motion that are going to cause some problems. As you can see, next card is Page of Cups in reverse. So there is an emotional sting. So the direction she headed into was bound to give her trouble, and very unexpectedly, and a lot of it, which is what this card is currently pointing towards. Those birds are completely unsuspecting as to what events they have set into motion, and she may have also like done something, I don't know, given somebody some money or not given somebody some money, tried to be careful with her spending, and now we're in some deep trouble, which gave us quite an emotional sting here with this wasp nest that she appears to have landed on in this card. And this is more than just a quick, oh my god, no, I don't really want that. This is like something that really stings and really hurts. Don't know if you've ever been stung by a wasp before. It really stings for a very long time, like it's a very bad experience, let's put it that way. Let's see what else we can do. We've got a lot of cards here actually, and things are being thrown off the table, along with the Ace of Swords. Let's reconstruct things here real quick. A little bit less chaos. Let's see, this one is new, so this entire stack is new. I've got a lot of cards here actually. I don't think I need all of these. There's quite a lot of them, but I will take this bunch, and then I'll shuffle, see if, oh, those, okay, done. All right, we're putting these in the bottom. This might be the rest of the cards that we need for the reading. Anyway, the Chariot is here. That's a lot of action very quickly as well. Two of Swords are being put in front of a choice, I believe, due to this Chariot. Like, there is an option to go this way, there's an option to go that way. There's an option to put on a mask. This card has a mask on it. There's two kittens surrounding what appears to be a mask. And it could be that she's trying to make a choice, but outwardly she's trying to appear calm and collected so that whoever it is that is pushing her to make this choice does not think that she's upset or anything like that. She's trying to stay calm, I think, to contain the situation. Then we have a Knight of Swords. Okay, so maybe we're actually speaking before our turn again, but this time a little bit more forcefully, because before we had the Page and now we have the Knight, so we're a little bit bolder in this case. I'm thinking that she is using some choice words here, so she may choose to fight this sting over here. And then we have the Six of Cups in reverse. I think this is a fleeting moment of wish I was back home, like that type of thing. Like, it's in reverse, so I feel like she may have looked back at where she was, not with like, oh my god, I wish I was back there because it was so much fun, but more like, I wish I was back there because at least I wouldn't be here. Like, I should have stayed home. Like, that's what this card, I think, is trying to say. So she is aware that she's in a terrible situation. We may, however, be looking at somebody who wants everything. I mean, the card is upright, but she is sitting on the bridge like she might jump. But it can also point to some type of contentment. So she may also have been thinking like, okay, well, at least I'm standing up for myself. I'm trying to basically ward off people. Like, maybe whoever did this to her came up initially and tried to like rob her, and she kind of fought them off with words, and they decided, okay, fine, whatever. And they went away temporarily and then later came back, but for a moment she's like, yes, I did that, I'm good now. But then we have Judgment over here, so maybe other people are judging her as well. This card always looks like people are looking at them, maybe from a distance. She could be looking at her environment and thinking, I need to get out of here because this is not where I need it to be. She at the very least does not feel calm and collected in that location, but we cannot go very far. At least things are turning, but not in a positive sense, because this is the Wheel over here and it is in reverse. Now this ant that's sitting on a leaf is already in a reasonably precarious situation, because if the leaf were to sink, then he goes down with it, and I don't think ants can swim. But in reverse, it's even more of a, oh my god, it's getting dark and I need to leave, like that type of thing. Like, I warded off that one guy, but who knows what else is going to happen. Makes me wonder if she got dropped off at a truck stop, which is usually also not the best place for a single person to be walking around, a single female no less, who does not know where she is. And then we have the Emperor in reverse, just as I was talking about truck stops and suspicious people, and the idea she had earlier, potentially, of what truckers may be like the judgment she may have had about the trucker that actually stopped the first time. I'm thinking that this is maybe somebody who hangs out there as well and sees her and goes, oh, hey, if you come with me, I can make sure you're safe, like that type of thing. But it's the Emperor in reverse. So maybe he's actually abusing the situation and his power over her, I guess, in that situation to lead her to anything but safety. And then the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So this is somebody whom is well practiced. Also interesting that they are chiseling a bunch of heads. So they said on that page that she may have been the victim of a serial killer. So this kind of like points towards somebody who has bad intentions and is well practiced, well versed. And also this card, instead of having somebody chiseling a bunch of pentacles, which is normally what the Eight of Pentacles shows, has them chiseling a bunch of heads, like a head count, like that type of thing. Like she was only one of the many people that they may have caught in this way, like that, in that location. So I'm thinking this is her running into somebody who may have been the person who actually ended up doing the terrible things to her, doing the terrible things to her. Maybe somebody who ended up doing the terrible things to her, and they may be familiar in that area, familiar with the type of people that you encounter there. Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we are trying, I guess, to spend our resources in a way to make things better, but this person does not look like they're in control. And I'm also looking at these two goats down here, which is usually not a positive sound because they're both black goats as well. And this picture does not look like a positive light image, so I don't think that's also a good sign. Also some masquerading happening here. She's trying to be brave possibly, and I guess trying to be calm, etc., but I guess she realizes that she is out of her depth. And then we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, so she cannot walk away. She is in the nest of the owl, which is huge and towering over her. And what else is in the nest over here? Looks like ants or something. Something in any case. They have a bird's head on. They may have tried to fool him once, but the owls in general are known, or at least seen, as symbols of wisdom. They can see in the dark. They're usually out at night. So this is somebody who sees through other people's masquerades pretty easily. And over here we already saw that they're well experienced, so I'm pretty sure they've seen other people try similar things before and they were not impressed. So that goes over there. Okay, so she's now, I'm guessing, with the person who is going to do the bad things. Let's see what else we can get. Nope. These two, the World in reverse, and Eight of Cups again. So once again, not walking away. We're not even walking. The picture over there shows a person sitting, when the Eight of Cups normally shows somebody who is walking away, active, but this is passive. We're not even looking at the shooting star behind us. They know that there's nothing to wish for, nowhere to go. The World is not only in reverse, also looking at the back. So it's kind of like she realizes in that moment that nobody knows where she is, and they have no idea where she's gone. They can't contact her, she can't contact them. So she is feeling well and truly lost, surrounded by a snake over there. As you can see, that's a snake forming the frame, but it just stood out to me. So I'm thinking that they are with somebody whom is poisonous, is toxic, and definitely not going to let her go. Okay. Yeah, and the star is going down and the Empress is in reverse. Okay. Now she's being taken terrible care of. Also noticing the crane flying in the background while the star is in reverse. I usually see the star in reverse as somebody's light disappearing. And there's also a star right here. So both of these cards have a bright star, but they're both in reverse. And the Empress in reverse is just not being taken good care of, not taking good care of yourself. With the star in reverse, your light going down, sundown events, crane flying off. Crane is also seen in some countries as a longevity symbol. So longevity is leaving. I think this is the moment where she leaves this mortal realm, where she dies basically. So not only does she know she cannot go anywhere and that nobody knows where she is, this is the end of the road with these two back to back. So that, I think, is the story how she ended up in a situation where she was, but we don't know who did it to her. So let's see if we can get some cards about that. Are we going to figure out who did this? Let's see, we have the Tower, the back side, and the Page of Wands in reverse. These two together kind of make me wonder if, even though people are trying to make breakthroughs, trying to force things to happen to change, they ultimately don't, because this Page of Wands also has a phoenix rising from the ashes, but because it's in reverse, I feel like that means trouble for resurrecting this case, basically. There is a sapling at the base of the tower, which does kind of like make me feel a little bit positive, at least, that we may see something. I'm thinking that if we do see anything about this case, it's going to be very slow and very small steps at a time, like baby steps, small little victories that may not even be noticeable, may not seem like a lot, that may eventually lead to something better. The people working on the case are tired, as you can see, with the 9 of Wands in reverse. She may still be calling out to them. This image always seems a bit like a fairy coming out of the cave and calling towards this wounded warrior, as though trying to tempt them in. And the warrior's like, I don't know, I don't think this is real. I think you're an illusion, like that type of thing. In this case, I feel this is much more the people who are working on this case, or people who have worked on this case, still being haunted by the image, the reconstruction that they made, and she kind of lives in their head, and that's why they don't want to give up on the case, but also they're not making a whole lot of progress, so that's very frustrating. That's why they're tired and looking quite battered. The sun is going down, so there isn't really much positive news on the front of this case, so they're not seeing any breakthroughs anytime soon. It's not looking very good for a resolution. Like, maybe we're going to see some type of conclusion being drawn, but I don't think we're going to see any type of real evidence of who it may have been. Okay, this is a whole stack. I don't think I'm going to take all of them, but I'll take you, and then we'll just shuffle the rest and see. Okay, there's one on the floor. All right, we had the Ace of Wands. Okay, so we're starting off with a new idea. Somebody may suddenly have an inspiration, and that may lead to new action, something that they're going to try, like almost like one of those last-ditch attempt things, like we tried everything else. There really isn't any reason why we shouldn't try this new thing, so let's just go ahead and do it. But there is a bit of resistance here with the Two of Swords, so we're still trying to figure out, like, what is it? Maybe the result they have of this new action isn't very conclusive. It's kind of like it's either this or it's that, and people have to really sit on the answer and meditate on it, basically. Not literally, maybe. They don't really seem, law enforcement doesn't seem like the type of people that will meditate, but just like sit on it, think about it, sleep on it, that type of thing, once they do have some results. And then we have here the Seven of Wands. While they may be confused as to which direction they want to go, they're not really encountering any sort of opposition. Like, all the people that may have had an issue with this are not going to go against them, and also they don't know who they're up against. I think this is also one of those signs here, like they don't know who they're fighting, and that may also make them very indecisive as to which direction they should really take. Like, on the one hand, they don't have opposition, but on the other hand, if you don't know who your enemy is, you don't know what the best tactic is either. So they're basically at a loss here. So until they figure this out, they're not going to get very far. But at least this is a little bit hopeful. Like, they do have some idea, like, oh, maybe we can try this. And then they get some type of information out of it, and then they're like, okay, now we have this, and what do we do with it, like that. So it may take some time yet for them to figure this out and then hopefully get further in the case. But so far it's very slow going, and I think it's going to take a long time before we actually see anything new. And by then, what we see may not even be enough to close the case, but they're trying. That's basically the main thing that we're seeing here. They're trying, and they definitely don't want to let go. It's just that things are not moving as fast as they would like, or maybe not moving at all, which of course is very unfortunate. But that is what I'm seeing for the Barstow Jane Doe. I hope you found it interesting. Make sure to leave a comment and a like. That really helps the channel along. If you don't subscribe, I know a lot of people ask that in your videos, but it does help to get the messages out if more people actually watch and see the videos popping up. In any case, hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.